empower you, God fill you up, God's presence be so strong in your life. What a privilege that you have allowed me now to enter your home and your heart here at the feast. Are you ready? My message is this: God is in your boat. Hallelujah. God is in your boat. I want you to type it, comment it, tell somebody beside you, God is in your boat. God is in your boat. Now, have you ever experienced chaos in your life? I have, many times. But let me share with you one of the earliest ones that I experienced. I was 12 years old. I was graduating from grade school, going into high school. And for the life of me, I do not know what went into the brains of my mom and my dad, because they wanted me to study in the Ateneo High School. Now, can I say this to you, that ever since the beginning I was a lazy student. I wanted to tell them, Mom, Dad, are you sure? Are you suffering from amnesia now when you forgot my report cards and the grades that I've been getting all these past years? You want me to look at them right now and pick one and shuffle those cards and just, pick one at random and present to you my grades that I am not worthy? But no, they wanted me. And so, friends, let me share this with you. Recently, there was this young woman who wrote to me and told me that she was depressed. Why? This is her story. That she was always a straight A student. But then this semester, she had one subject, that was a B+. And her mother was so angry at her. And it broke her heart. This young woman writing to me. And OMG, I cannot relate. Really, I absolutely cannot relate. I wanted to write that mother. I wanted to say, Mother, there's something wrong with you. This is wild. I wanted to write to her that, your daughter, when I was your daughter's age, and I would get a 75. A 75. My mom will throw a party, invite all the homeowners association, and serve lechon. I'm exaggerating, but she will be very happy. But here you are, your daughter has one B+, for crying out loud. The rest is A, and you go ballistic. Anyway, let me go back to my story. So I took the Ateneo High School entrance exam. And my parents believed in me so much that they did not, think that I should take other entrance exams in other schools. So, a few weeks after the exam, I was in the front lawn of my house. And then the mailman comes. And I was there, so I got the bunch of envelopes for us. One of them had my name on it. One of them was there with my name, and it came from the Ateneo High School department. And so with trembling fingers, I opened the envelope. I unfolded the letter, and it said there, Dear Mr. Sanchez, we regret to inform you, ... At that singular moment, I felt I was the dumbest kid in the entire galaxy. True to form. That's how we exaggerate, right? One school rejected me, but I felt that the entire country was rejecting me. And I was, at that moment, it was panic time. It was chaos at home. Because my parents realized, oh no, time is running out, and you're gonna miss a school year. I said, I'm gonna miss a school year. Inwardly, I said, yes. But no, it was panic time. It was really chaos. They had to go from school to school. They burned the lines, called this up, called that person, trying to find ways. And there, at the very last minute, one school accepted me, Claret High School. And but that was a wild time, like anxiety through the roof, just searching for a school for me. But let me share with you what happened to me a few years later. I was in first year high when I joined the Bible quiz. And it was on national TV. And it lasted for 2 years because I had to keep on competing. going up the levels. And finally, after 2 years, I was the grand champion. And do you know what my prize was? Can I tell you? A 4-year college scholarship at the Ateneo de Manila University. And that was wild, right? It's like, OMG. My parents, they wanted me to go to the Ateneo High School, and God was saying, no, you wait for me. You wait for me. Sometimes what we think is a denial is actually a delay. And God knows your future. Are you going through chaos right now? Are you going through panic? Are you going through anxiety? Listen to me. God knows your future. God knows your story, every detail, every facet, every angle. And He invites you to trust in Him. He invites you to trust in God. Why? Because in the midst of that storm, there is a God beside you in your boat. God is in your boat. Now, I want to read with you again that whole story and just go a little bit slower, and I pray that it will be a revelation for you. Are you ready? Here we go. In verse 23, then Jesus got into the boat and started across the lake with His disciples. Suddenly a fierce storm struck the lake with waves breaking into the boat. And then Matthew said something absolutely strange. Absolutely. He said, but Jesus was sleeping. You know, who would sleep in a fragile, flimsy fishing boat being slammed by monster waves and winds? Who would do that? Well, Jesus. Now, why? I'll give you a practical answer. I was thinking, you know, if I was in the sandals of Jesus, I would probably also be sleeping because, I would preach for 2 sessions at the feast, and then, every ebb of energy would be just drained out of me. And then after each session, just praying over hundreds of people. So, by Sunday afternoon, I'm useless. I'm totally useless. I will crash on the couch for 2 hours, and I'll just be dead. And I figured this was what happened to Jesus because He healed a lot of people. He had an evening healing rally in Capernaum. But then, I want to ask a deeper question. So maybe that's the practical answer. But did Matthew have a theological, deeper meaning to this whole idea that Jesus was sleeping on the boat? I do. I have 2 reflections on that, and I will give them to you at the later part of this talk. Freeze that question. Why was Jesus sleeping on the boat? I'm going to answer another question. The whole idea of water. Now, why will I ask about water? Storm, waves, what's that? My dear friends, the Old Testament. When Matthew wrote the Gospel, he assumed that all his readers, they understood the Old Testament. For many Christians, the Old Testament is a story of barbaric blood, battle, gore, not very nice to read. I'd rather read the New Testament, not the Old Testament. But listen, let me make an announcement. The Old Testament was the Bible of Jesus. That was what He read. And if we will not understand the Old Testament the way Jesus understood the Old Testament, we will not be able to fully understand Him, Jesus. And this is crucial. I need to emphasize that. And so, to understand this story of the storm and Jesus sleeping in the boat, let's go back to the Old Testament and ask this question: what was the symbolism of water? Now, in the Bible, throughout the Old Testament, the Bible of Jesus, water was the primary image of chaos. Oh yes. You just have to go to the very first page of the Old Testament, Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 and 2. Let's read. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Verse 2, the earth was formless and empty, and darkness covered the deep waters. And the Spirit of God was hovering the surface of the waters. In the time of Noah, what destroyed planet Earth? Water through the great flood. And then moving forward, Moses and the Israelites. Guess what? What saved them? Passing through the water, the Red Sea. What destroyed the armies of Pharaoh and the Egyptian chariots? The Red Sea. Water again. You go to their prayer book, the book of Psalms, and look at this. This is from Psalms 169. The psalmist had a horrible experience in his life, and how did he just describe it? Let me read it for you. Save me, O God, for the waters have come up to my neck. I have come into the deep waters. The floods engulf me. So now, using the lens of the Old Testament, let's read the story again. Let's continue reading. We're back to the storm. The disciples went and woke him up, Jesus, shouting, Lord, save us! We're going to drown! Familiar? Familiar? You know, when Matthew is writing that, he wants you to hyperlink different parts of this story back to the Old Testament. That was his intention. Jesus responded, why are you afraid? You have so little faith. Then he got up, rebuked the wind and waves, and suddenly there was a great calm. The disciples were amazed. Who is this man? They asked. Even the winds and waves obey him. Friends, that question, who is this man? That was the intention of Matthew, why he was writing the story and why he was retelling the story to you. He was asking that question, who is this man? Is he just a healer? Is he just a teacher? Is he just a prophet? Or is he someone more? But if you use the lens of the Old Testament, get this, I hope you're listening. This is shocking. What Yahweh was doing in the Old Testament, Jesus was now doing. Are you with me on this? This is wild. In other words, Matthew was saying, Jesus is Yahweh. Jesus is Yahweh in the flesh. Blows my mind that Matthew was saying that and telling that, oh man, he was showing that whatever Yahweh was doing in the Old Testament, Jesus was also doing. And so the revelation, this revelation is very shocking. This is an astounding claim. I remember the quote from C.S. Lewis, either this man was and is the Son of God, or else a madman or something worse. You know, no wonder Jesus was crucified. Because the claim was, he was God. Now, let me take one step backward and go to modern times. Let's face it, we're all Catholics. We kind of like, yeah, Jesus is God, sure. It's easy, right? Can I go deeper and be more personal with you? Is he your God? Especially when you are in the middle of a storm. Especially when all hell breaks loose and you are surrounded by chaos. Will you trust this God who is sleeping in your boat? Why don't we go back to that strange, absolutely strange verse. But Jesus was sleeping. I have two reflections, two answers. I'll give you the first one now. The second one will be at the later part of this talk. But here's the first one. You can debate with me on this. I won't mind, I may be wrong. This is just my personal opinion. But I want to connect the sleeping Jesus on the boat with a God who was resting on the seventh day. That I believe, and this is just my personal opinion, that in the midst of crisis, and we have a crisis right now, global, country, nationwide, personal, you've got all these things happening around you. I believe God is always inviting us to enter into the eternal Sabbath, to be able to rest in Him and trust in this God who is sleeping at the boat. He's inviting you to rest as well. He is inviting you. In the book of Psalms, there are two verses there I want to quote with you. The first one is the most popular psalm in the entire world. Psalms 23, verse 1 and 2. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And then it says here, He leads me to rest. He lets me rest. And then here's another one. In Psalms 127 verse 2. For the Lord provides for those he loves while they are asleep. While they are asleep, God provides. Today, perhaps you feel that God is absent in your life. You've been praying and praying and praying and praying and praying, and it seems he's not listening or he's sleeping. But can I give you my word? Can I preach to you? May I preach to you today? He is listening. You think he's absent? No, he's very present. In fact, he's beside you. And he is in your boat. Remember my story? When I was rejected by that good school? Somewhere along the way, some part of me, interpretation, I'm really dumb, gosh, it's no surprise, my life is over. My life is over. Oh, I'm going to miss a school year. Yay, nothing. And here's the thing, and my parents were panicking and all of that, but I really think God at that moment was saying, chill, rest, relax, sleep, everything will be all right. Trust me. Trust in me. And this is the message that God is giving to you right now. Right now, this moment, this very moment. There's a storm in your life. You're going through a crisis. You're going through these difficulties. But there's this God who is sleeping beside you. And his word for you is this. Chill. Relax. Rest. Sleep. Everything will be all right. God is in your boat. God bless you.